I'm not seeing it there. And we have the Legacy of the Siberian Plan, which massively offsets that. Okay, so it's the 5% increase in GDP. That's going to be more difficult to overcome, but still definitely overcomable. Yeah, not funny. Research finished. Support weapons done. So we're going to move on to the next one, which is going to be the AK-47. Wait, no, we're already researching that. That was support weapons. Okay. So we could start working on better RPGs. Could also work towards better motorized. What's the difference between these two? Hardness goes up. Speed goes up significantly. Interesting. And yeah, we'll go for better motorized. That's something that Vanilla's lacking. Can I read your other highlighted message? The foreign army thing gives army experience. Yeah, I know. I don't really care about army experience that much. I'm more concerned about the cost and trying to get professionalism. The reason I haven't taken this is... It wasn't the professional... I'm talking rubbish. The reason I haven't taken this is because all of the other options increase your GDP. This is the only one that doesn't. So yeah, the army experience would be nice, but GDP is a much bigger concern right now because of my spiraling debt. But once we finish this and we get the political power, we'll probably take it. It was just a very low priority compared to basically all of the others. Sorry, yes, I did see your message, I just didn't acknowledge it. My bad. Irkutsk is not looking too healthy. Magadan might actually end up surviving this. And then it's probably, for control of Siberia, going to be me versus the Divine Mandate. Interesting. Strategic cycles, finished. That was one of these. Now we're going to want to start thinking about military factory construction speed. While our men may be well trained, they are nothing without weapons. To keep up with an expanding army, we must continue to grow our military industry. We'll be no match in the upcoming conflicts if we do not have enough guns or supplies for our troops. We'll focus on the arms production, mass producing weapons and ammo for the troops on the front lines. What industry we have must be prepared for war. If more weapons are produced than consumer goods, then so be it. A man without a gun is nothing. I would disagree with that. Who are we not spying on? We're currently spying on Irkutsk. Although we may not need to for much longer. You never know, they could always pull this one out, somehow. Minus 11% research, it hurts. I think the fact that we had 2 research slots until very recently hurts more. Okay, so now we can embrace modernity and tradition, which will remove admins. Yeah, we want that. Then we want to do these, and then I think we'll render onto Rurik. So tax rate goes to medium, income tax goes to low weighted, which I think we decided was reducing the amount of money we were going to get. See, we're already on medium, so that doesn't change. I don't know why that's a thing. And then this one becomes weighted, low income weighted. It's currently on flat. Yeah, and that's also going to reduce the amount of money we get. So we're doing this one as late as we can, because that's going to completely destroy my economy. It's bad enough as it is. Plus 60% income from that focus? No, it's reduced. That's literally what I was just showing you. Because we're already on medium taxation, no change there. And the taxation, income tax, we're going to lose 5%. It's currently on 15, it will become 10. So that will lose us money. Not as much as I'm probably saying, but it will lose us money. This one, though, I don't see any downside to. To the outside observer, the Kingdom of Siberia is a kingdom of contradictions. The banner of the Kievan Rus is coloured red and yellow. Former red and white officers fight side by side in the name of the king. Nobles pass laws in favour of factory workers and participate in the local elections. However, through chaos there is order. King Rurik has achieved the unachievable. He has combined the best of both worlds. On the one hand, the old communist regime's progress, cult, militarism and state atheism. On the other, the old kingdom's national pride, loyalty and a degree of capitalism. Although many questioned Rurik's unorthodox methods and many more labelled him a failure, the Kingdom of Siberia now stands as a shining beacon of opportunity in the Siberian wastelands. Although one thing I will take a look at is the other modifiers. Wait, it was that one. So this basically trades in higher stability and more political power, but I just don't need political power. We've basically done all of the upgrades already. So let's get the foreign instructors for the experience gain and the free experience, and that will allow us to go fully mechanized, which would be nice. Divine Mandate of Siberia has defeated the Free State of Magadan. Irkutsk survived because Magadan died first. And we've got an Indonesian Civil War, I think. Or did they just win it? They just won it. Okay, Indonesian Civil War is over. And Sukarno has won. AK-47, done. Right, let's go and upgrade our guns. The AKs, and we'll start exporting those immediately. And now we have a research slot. So it is 1965. We should be up to here in gun technology. The other thing we could probably do eventually is actually get some of the tank upgrades. Like, even though we can technically get T-64s, we don't have any of the upgrades to increase the strength of those tanks. But I think that upgrading the guns is more useful simply because there are a lot more infantry. So we kind of want to get up to this tech level. Replacing wooden stocks and handguards with metal can lead to improved performance in harsh conditions, as well as to improve the lifespan of the rifle. Would you really want a metal stock in Siberia? It would freeze. And we have enough of these, so national service would just give us manpower and consumer goods reduction, but it costs us stability. Or this one would give us stability and would give us war support. Propaganda programs, let's do those. Hungary sides with Italy after a concentrated effort to establish ties with the administration. Hungary has officially broken away with the German pact, opting instead to throw in their lot with the Italians. It was not an easy transaction. The Italians paid highly to push Hungary into their orbit, but Italian promises of protection were enough to woo the Hungarians. The Germans are furious. An Italian puppet state now lies on their border. As of now, nothing has come of it, but there is no doubt that the Germans are plotting their next move. Italy makes a decisive move. President Sukarno wins the Indonesian Civil War. Following a grueling years-long conflict all across the vast reaches of the Indonesian archipelago, the loyalist government of Sukarno has triumphed over the National Front led by Muhammad Hatta. The father of the young nation, Sukarno has had a contentious, at times hostile relationship with his Japanese benefactors. One could not deny, however, the importance of Japanese backing in securing his victory. International observers note, however, the continued plight of the Indonesian people under his continued reign. With the Ramusha system and the Shinmakashawa economic arrangement of the Empire of Japan still in place. Only time can tell whether Bung Karno is able to lift Indonesia into a new golden era under Japanese guidance. So that one I'm going to close. I don't think I need it, and that's all the decisions done. Germany mad that Italian client state borders them and Italy themselves border them. Yeah. It's a bit nonsensical. I think the Germany's more pissed off that they managed to pinch Hungary away from under them. Wait, what? Why did half of you not select? Or did you? 12 and 16. Yes, you did. I don't think that these two are at war. It's just the Divine Mandate managed to steal a bunch of territory. Alright, so let's do the Royal Edicts. Get all of these done. And then we can render onto Rurik and then Clash of the Wolves. And at that point, we should be done internally. Decades of poor leadership have left Russia in a sorry state. Contradicting laws, excessive bureaucracy, not to mention the ineptitude of the warlords, have all played their part in confusing the new government. Nevertheless, King Rurik is no stranger to monumental tasks and wishes to draft royal edicts. These laws will allow for an overhaul of the central bureaucracy, streamlining the Siberian administration and hopefully pave the way towards a new Russian empire. Right, I can increase construction budget once more. 2.5 US dollars becomes 2.9. We could also reduce other spending. Although these are only temporary decreases. I think I can probably temporarily decrease the military budget, which will hopefully save us some money. Total expenditures are just going up and up. How are we doing with the construction speed now? 23%. And how much of that can we get over? Civilian austerity is dropping it by 7, so it's actually 16%, which is exactly the utilization. If I get rid of the utilization, then we're positive. Or, yeah, we're at 0. Although... overextended administration doesn't affect civilian factories anymore. So that really is no longer such a big problem. It's just whether we can grow our economy faster than the losses we're making. And I suspect probably. Yeah, the economy could definitely use with a bit more information. One other question. If I have resources, does building... Yes, it does. And I know that resources also contribute to GDP, so the more resources we have via infrastructure, the more GDP we would have. And building influence is probably quicker than building factories, a lot faster than building factories, especially with my construction speed bonuses. So let's develop this central area with infrastructure. General Suharto coups the Indonesian government. It seems as though peace ruled the day following Sukarno's victory in the Indonesian Civil War, with business resuming as usual, until today at least. Reports of armoured columns and airborne forces seizing vital positions all over Indonesia are confirmed, with paramilitary and units loyal to Sukarno being taken under custody or being shot. Widely rumoured to be a Japanese or communist coup, the situation amongst the Indonesian civilian populace has been dire. Rumours point to the coup being orchestrated by one of Indonesia's war heroes, however. A source claims to have documents confirming the role of General Sukarno in orchestrating the coup against Sukarno administration, though this is confusing given Suharto's professed loyalty to Sukarno. Strange times in a strange land. Feels like the economy comes out of nowhere, the right hook in this mod. Yeah, they definitely could do something to kind of gently guide that in rather than just BAM! Goodbye economy. Which it currently is. The battle for Italy. After the collapse of the Triumvirate, the Italian nation was left with very few allies, despite its central position in the Mediterranean. For the most part, Italy remained alone. It seemed it would stay that way for a long time. However, both the OFN and the Co-Prosperity Sphere have recently been making overtures to the Italians in an attempt to align them with the spheres of influence. While these overtures were very quiet at one point, the realization of a rival was also attempting to convince the Italians to their side. It's made both the Americans and the Japanese much more open in public in their attempts to win over the Italians. International relations experts agree that the prize of Italy is quite bountiful, with their control over a large amount of the world's oil supply combined with control over the Suez Canal, which would give either alliance an incredibly powerful foothold in the Mediterranean. Of course, the Germans watch these negotiations with bitterness, as this will give one of the great powers blocks of the world a direct border with the Reich itself. Could Italy be the tipping point of this Cold War? I mean, we're still on DEFCON 5. Oh yeah, these two are fighting, because I just saw some of the land disappear. So it does look like the divine mandate is growing stronger and stronger. What I need is some more unbridled conquest to fix my economy. Yeah, our deficit is really... I wish it said somewhere what your actual deficit was. Because whenever I was reading this, like, revenue is 7.9 billion, we're fine. When actually... Oh, it says right there. Yeah, see, deficit and reserves should be down here. 3.4 billion a year. Do it. Leroy Jenkins. We're going to build up our economy as quickly as possible. We do, again, have an absolutely massive construction speed. 52%. So I'm hoping that our incredibly large construction sector can just build us out of this. Royal Edicts done. Das Großdeutsche Reich der Deutschen Nation declared war on Raj Tomoshki. So Germany has just declared war on Poland. Again. Right, repurpose the monasteries. King Rurik has always had an odd relationship with the Orthodox Church. A proud atheist, he has denounced priests as charlatans and wizards, a blight upon Russia not unlike opium. Although a sizable faction within the Sobor calls for the complete destruction of all churches, temples and organizations that undermine the king's authority, certain nobles advocate for a more practical option, repurposing the buildings for more useful tasks. Namely, border churches will be militarized and converted into barracks, their basements turned into arsenals, thereby making the building a village blockhouse. Temples within the safety of the kingdom can become prisons for an unending stream of criminals. Are we having internet issues again? Alright, we'll pause for a bit. Thankfully, that didn't seem to happen during Humankind. After seeing this mod, I honestly wish there was more Tartavine 4. Yeah. The people of this country invented inflatable buildings with that kind of construction speed. It's one of my pride and joys, and it's definitely the biggest legacy of the Siberian plan. I just wish I knew about the consumer goods issues, because I would have focused more on the consumer goods, because I was able to. I had more than enough political power at the time to be focusing more towards the consumer goods. I just didn't. If I did this again, I would know. Looks like we've stabilized again. We've lost 21,000 frames though at some point. It's 3% of the stream. Let's just go and take a quick look at the Twitch Inspector, because I'm curious just how bad things have been. Error loading graph. Okay. When was this? Okay, so right at the end of the... Oh no, that's at 10. So roughly halfway through Humankind we had a bit of a blip. But it was a tiny one. Nothing compared to what we just had, which is actually quite sizable. Yeah, 3 minutes. I don't get it. I don't get it. Why is my internet so bad at the moment? This is definitely going to call for another complaint. In fact, our GDP is at 54 billion. It started at 49. We are actually scaling at the same speed as the debt right now. And that's with a massive amount of investment in upgrades. Although that also came with the massive investment in GDP increase. Polden Feldzug. Screens across the globe have once more been filled with the dark image of Führer Bormann against the bright lights and the red and black swastikas. The Greater German Reich is once more at war, despite all attempts at negotiations. He claims the German people are involved in the Verteidigungskrieg, a war of defence against the violent terrorist government of the Polish state. Once more, German tanks will dig their muddy treads through the Polish fields and the battle will rage. The largely unrecognised Polish government has responded that their alleged crimes are a falsehood created by a casus belli, but that nonetheless they will fight to the end in resistance to the German invader. Despite the alarm of the soldiers of the newfound Polish army, they are hopelessly outnumbered by the forces of the Einheitspact. The war is expected by many to be shorter and bloodier recreation than the one in 1939. How can it be peaceful when they try and take away your dignitas? Don't get me wrong, I love Hearts of Iron 4, but seeing this, I kind of wish we had a few more years with political build-up like Hitler rising to power. Kind of wish it started right back when World War I, when you had a few decades to grow your country and push them to a certain political way. Yeah, I don't disagree. Like I said, when I last spoke to Podcat at PDXCon last year, he said that the two things he really wanted to improve in Hearts of Iron was the politics and espionage. And we've just had a big update to espionage, at least politics. So I very strongly expect the next DLC, and I'm saying this purely on assumptions, I have no confirmation on this. I strongly suspect that the next DLC is going to be internal politics and the USSR. Because of that. Though the men and women of the Polish homeland fought with everything they had, Poland has been lost, this time perhaps forever. That was unbelievably quick. That was like 24 hours. It's over already? It's over already. Blimey. Don't screw with Germany. Yes, Colinus, I know. If I don't notice after like 10 minutes, then tell me, but not when it's literally coming in. Download now Kassia and Villager Win. Thank you very much for the follows. Welcome to the channel. Oh, yeah, I did see that one. We're good. Decisions available. Oh, this is up again. Interesting. So they do actually cycle around. Because we also have the agricultural mechanization again. Like, this one is huge because it massively increases A, infrastructure, and B, resources. Do it. Do it now. Is New World Order mod popular? Not yet. It's very, very new. So I don't think that many people know about it. So I'm doing my part. Spreading the good word. Because it is good. And it definitely should be played by more. Lasted more than historical Denmark. Maybe. Oh dear. Irkutsk is looking very, very bad. Okay, we have repurposed those monasteries. We're going to do a King of the People, which is going to get rid of another level of administrative strain, and I think that's actually the last one. A lot can be said about the Romanovs of yesteryear, that they were weak, indecisive, maybe even the biggest factor that led to the failure of the Russian state, however. By far the biggest failure, that has been their inability to connect with their own people. King Rurik himself, having been a common man, understands the complexities of the modern age. The peasantry are no longer illiterate masses with minimal power, but potent tools for change. King Rurik wishes to establish minor welfare programs, encourage his nobles to interact with the civilian governments, guarantee property and safety rights, among other things. Much of Russia is still in disrepair. It is critical the people of the land know whose side they are on. I actually really like Rurik. If I was a modern monarch, this is exactly how I would rule. He has a lot of really good ideas. mix between welfare state and authoritarianism. Again, emphasis on if I was a monarch. Not necessarily saying this is the best form of government, it's the best form of monarchy. Ural military district declared war on the Zlatoust Republic. Ural something, Zlatoust, them. These two. Oh no, these two. So, Slavotsk is growing bigger. Samara, meanwhile, is gobbling up the Western Revolutionary Front. Twitch streamer plot rise to power as a monarch. More news at 11. What do I think Arnold Schwarzenegger would be doing? Wouldn't he be in Austria? Probably. We know logistics, politics, Italy and Soviet Union are getting things done to them from their roadmap. What we know in the next DLC, we do not know. Yeah, go ahead, Chibi, please. Absolutely fine. Thank you for asking. And I'm guessing this is the nuclear silence. No, it's Krakow. Oh no, there is music there. It's just really quiet. So I'm guessing music added by the mod is quiet? Because we've had this issue a few times now. Right. Our economy needs to grow by 3.8 billion a year. I don't know if I can do that. We'll see. Okay, 1962 weapons, go. Thankfully, these military techs are quite a bit quicker. Republic of Pavlodar declared war on the Polish Autonomous Soviet Socialist Republic. Oh wait, that's down here. Pavlodar declared war on Nowa Polska. The king of the people. Done. So now we need to render onto Rurik, and then Clash of Wolves, and we'll see how this affects our economy. I'm guessing badly. King Rurik recognises the struggle faced by the peasantry, but the coffers need gold. A revised tax code needs to be drafted, mints established, but ultimately the foundation of the kingdom must come from the common man's pocket. After all, was it not Rurik who saved the Russian people from the treacherous anarchists and vile despots? All of Siberia belongs to the Tsar. Every pound of gold must be accounted for. Russia must not be allowed to lag behind the rest of the world any longer. However, Rurik is a benevolent ruler, so taxes will vary based on location and circumstance. Individual enterprise must not be compromised. The new tax code understands the plight of the peasantry. So it's again the middle classes who suffer.